They got the losing thing down, don't they? Boy, they've got that thing mastered with the one-run losses. Last night it was Aroldis Chapman's turn to lose. So now look, oddly enough, they made a good. I was watching the Celtics like most people last night, so I cut the Red Sox in bits and pieces. But oddly enough, the rally they put together to tie the game, because they were down 5-2 in the seventh, was a good rally. It was singles and walks, basically putting the ball in play, not swinging at bad pitches. They tied the game. They put themselves in position again, and then their bullpen can't nail it down. And I would say for all the grief I've given the Red Sox about their inability to do the little things, mostly with the bat and on the offensive side, their bullpen is also killing them. So I was just looking this up because I'm a big believer in it. First of all, they now have 12 losses in one-run games, and that's usually a sign of a bad bullpen. But beyond that, their bullpen has 10 losses. That's the third most in baseball. You know who's the fewest? The Tigers. So you get into a bullpen game with the Tigers and the game's tight. Your bullpen's not good enough. The fact of the matter is they needed more help than they got out there. And they didn't, they can't match up with some of the best teams in the league still. Now, the Tigers had the best record in the American League. So you shouldn't get your ass kicked and you shouldn't sweep. But the fact of the matter is I think a lot of the other series have done more damage to them than this one did because the Tigers are better than the Red Sox are. And they don't match up with that bullpen, but not winning the games early in the year makes this one hurt.
Yeah, the bullpen's not good, but also when you keep finding ways to lose games like they do, I tend to believe you have a loser mentality. And to me, that loser mentality starts with your loser manager, who says something like after last night's game, we got swept, it sucks. But I'm not thinking about that. I thought the last few days, we competed the right way. Oh, that's very good. Managerial participation trophy, good. Raise the banner. We competed the right way in Detroit against the best team in baseball.
It's a bad sign. Murray's right.
This guy stinks. I'm done with Cora.
It's a bad sign. When the manager, they're 45 games in. So what's he saying? They played hard, or they worked counts, so they competed well.
They're going to be ready for the Braves tomorrow because it might rain again.
Oh, they don't like the weather. It's true.
Weather might not be great this weekend, guys.
I think it's a bad sign when they start talking about the compete level. So that's what this is about. What's this, a AAA team? We want to teach them how to play the right way.
Should be a given, right?
Yes, automatic. So, look, they put themselves in this spot. They had a bunch of beatable opponents. They played with their heads up their ass for the large majority of these first 40 games. Now they're starting to go against good competition. The Tigers' bullpen's really, really good. They throw bullets. They were able to mount a little bit of a rally, but then Chapman spit the bit.
So while you liked how they scored their runs in the seventh, I will still tell you, a common theme is that, to use a football analogy, they just can't make plays when they need to make them. Yes, they scored the 3 in the seventh, Mazz, on singles to tie the game. They also had bases loaded and 1 out, and Abreu grounded into a double play. So runner on third, less than 2 outs. Go ahead, run at third base, less than 2 outs. Can't get him home. Top of the ninth. First and third, 1 out. Your best hitter at the plate. Runner on third, less than 2 outs. Devers strikes out. Bregman grounds out to end the inning. Winning run on third base, less than 2 outs. Can't get him in.
And they had a similar situation the night before, too. They struck out 14 times last night.
On the other side of it, 2 outs, 1 out away from getting out of the inning, you give up a game-winning hit. Happens again. How many 2-out RBIs have the Red Sox allowed?
A ton.
Oh, my God. It feels like
ton.
all the damage, and I know it's an exaggeration, it feels like all the damage comes against them with 2 outs. So they're in it. Yeah, they're competing. But now, runner on third, less than 2 outs, that's a go-ahead run. Can you get him in? No.
They don't know how to win.
You're making pitches on the mound. You're just about out of the inning. 2 innings, 2 strikes. Can you get him out? No. That's happened all season long, man.
It has, yes. It has. There's, again, and I guess my only point is this. The Tigers are good. Okay, it's a good team. And so, they go into Detroit. I'd expect them to lose 2 out of 3 at this stage. I wouldn't expect them to lose all 3, but 2 out of 3. I think the fact that it now hurts the way it does is because they effed up against everybody else, too. But they are who they are at this stage. I don't know that we can look at them and say this is some sort of, aberrant behavior. I don't think it is.
So, meanwhile, they're languishing under 500. They're a better team, but they're not winning at a higher level. They can't seem to make winning plays, quote unquote. obviously a team that is like in desperate need of a spark, something, an injection, an attitude adjustment, something. And they have all these young kids ready to come up, and they're not bringing them up. And you ask why? Wouldn't that be like, isn't this like the perfect kind of team that has enough talent, that is in a lot of games, but is just missing something?
Yep.
Needs a spark, needs momentum, needs something. And it'd just be the perfect kind of team where you would bring these kids up. Why aren't they bringing these kids up, Mazz?
Because we talked about this with Christian Campbell. There's now a rule in baseball that if you bring up a prospect and he wins either the Rookie of the Year award or the MVP award in his first 3 seasons, you qualify for extra draft picks. And in the case of the Rookie of the Year award, there are minimums involved that you have to play during the course of the year. Right now, if they were to bring up all 3 of those guys at once, they'd all be eligible for the Rookie of the Year award, but you're only getting 1 pick out of that if you do it that way. So it feels like they're delaying the arrival of Anthony and Meyer so that they could qualify for awards in future years and extend the window by which the Red Sox could get draft picks.
You did a good job describing that. It's a technical little thing. If you want to read about it, the incomparable Matt, the stat, what's his last name?
Matt Gross.
Matt Gross, who writes for, is it like essentially
Over the Monster.
Well, Bleacher Report, right?
Yeah. No, it's SB Nation.
SB Nation, I mean.
Yeah,
that's right.
SB
right.
Nation.
So it's Over the Monster, but it's SB Nation.
Yeah, exactly.
Which I usually thought those were like sort of fan sites and fanboy stuff. This Matt Gross does such good work and such incisive, critical analysis. I don't mean negative. I mean just critical of the team. He's phenomenal. Go to overthemonster.com and read Matt Gross's story on this. It's very technical about how you qualify for the draft pick and the service time and all of that. So you're going to have to read it to know the exact ins and outs of it. But basically, headline, service time.
Right.
It's a service time question.
Yes.
And it's a way to manipulate service time of young players to get extra draft picks and save on salaries and service time, free agent years. And that's what they're doing. They're manipulating the service time and the call-up times of these guys to try and get sandwich picks and preserve free agent years and that whole bucket of stuff.
Yep.
And meanwhile, they're ready to come up. The team is just languishing in this place where they can't seem to get to that next level. An infusion would be an obvious way to try and get it out of them. And they're not doing it because they're playing for sandwich picks in 4 years and free agent years in 8.
It's maddening.
This is what they're doing.
Yeah, it's maddening. And again, the one that worries me now is that, okay, so what? You have 3 rookies, and that ideally, if you want to maximize that, the opportunity to get additional picks, you bring them up in 3 separate years. So what does that mean? We're not going to see Marcelo Meyer to the end of next season? Is that what that means? I have a hard time believing they're going to go that far when they're both at AAA right now, meaning Anthony and Meyer. Anthony's ready. He's ready to come up to the big leagues. Are they delaying him until like late August or mid-August so that he doesn't play enough games to qualify as a rookie and they can bring him up the next year?
It's a good question.
Is that what they're doing?
Feels like it. You read the story, it feels like it.
I mean, that is asinine.
What else are they waiting for? So they're just playing the long game and they're trying to win on the margins of, again, service time, free agent years in 7 or 8 years, sandwich draft picks, like who gives a crap? All this stuff. Trying to fiddle around with all these margins and win on these margins. Meanwhile, you've got a team that's kind of ready to win now, and they can't figure out how to do it, in desperate need of a spark, and you're not willing to give it to them because you're worried about your sandwich picks and the free agent status of Roman Anthony in 2033.
Right, and Gasper said this too. They're still prioritizing the future over the present. I mean, again, that's what this thing's about. We're going to build a machine to make us more sustainable over the long term, and in order to do that, we have to delay Meyer and Anthony getting here for lots of reasons. If you like that clip, check out more videos from Felger and Mazz here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.